and I don't have anybody holding me back. I can do anything I want to this bike. I've had it like 10 days, and already I threw some LEDs on it. I went and got the WIM so that I could connect my headset, and I could throw all of the phone, you know, answer phone calls and listen to GPS directions all inside my helmet while cranking all my music on the stereo at the same time. Funny story about that, I rode 3.5 hours yesterday to go get that installed. We sat there half the day because it was an amazing dealership. They're like, we understand your situation. You can't get this part anywhere else. You're riding all the way out here. Let's schedule this out for July 3rd, and I'll fit you in as we can during the day. It's just going to be, you know, rip some parts off the bike, and then we're going to do little in between all of our appointments, because it's only an 1.5 hour job. So if you're here for 5 or 6 hours, you know, buying motor clothes, accessories, and shopping for other stuff, we can get it done well before the day's over. And I just thought that was absolutely amazing. So shout out to Flaming Gorge Harley in Green River. They really went above to help me out and get that done for me. But the problem now is that I have a few bucks in my pocket. I know all the parts that I want, but it's turned pretty ugly on the Harley Davidson website. From everything big to everything small. It's like, I want a flush mounted gas cap. I don't care if it's chrome or it's black, because of everything would still make it look great. Either way, chrome or black, but I want it flush mounted. Closest place to get one of those is 5 hours away because the website's out. Torque cam, sold out. Closest place is 3.5 hours away in a random direction. Exhaust, it didn't matter if I wanted headers and slip-ons, if I just wanted slip-ons, or if I wanted a full exhaust. Everybody sold out on both of the exhausts that I'm willing to throw on this bike and be perfectly happy with. They're on 9 to 10 week back orders. You know, and then you got the heated grips. There was 3 different sets of heated grips that I'd have been perfectly happy with. The website's completely sold out of all 3. I'm gonna have to ride 2 hours Monday morning all the way to Colorado and pick up that part and bring it back. And then it's just a sit around and waiting game. I can't even find a high flow air intake right now, or a Pro Street tuner to throw in this bike. I can't find a 400 watt amplifier to throw in the saddlebag. There's just everything that I want to do to this bike is sold out. And I'm losing my mind over this, because as a brand new guy that finally got up some of the confidence and some of the passion to start tossing out all this money on multiple GoPros and still trying to make that final decision on which software I'm going to use to do all this editing, because right now I'm still just using all the generic GoPro Quick and iMovie on my cell phone, and they do an alright job, but you know, there's certain patterns that you can check out on YouTube and you go, okay, these people who are growing their channels and having an impact on people and really building a community and a connection with everybody, they're using the very same tactics. They might not be using the same software, but they're using the same tactics. They're putting all kinds of little stickers and funny noises, and that's the kind of stuff that apparently you need to step up to if you want to get any kind of game in town. And so Harley's making that pretty easy for me right now, because if I can't get any of the parts that I want and need, then I'm not having to choose, do I throw my spare cash here or do I throw my spare cash here? I ordered a couple more GoPros, a couple more microphones, like 5 different cat filters for the microphones, because I'm thinking out in the world that I live in here in Wyoming, that if just because something works well for everybody else doesn't mean it's going to work well in a town where we got 60 mile per hour, 70 mile per hour winds every other day. And the other thing that's hard about this area for me to motovlog is that there's not a lot of perfectly recordable content. Like everywhere that I want to go and show you guys all the twisties, the ups and downs, and all the amazing riding places out here, you know, they're all 80 mile per hour zones. And so when you start going 80 miles per hour and you got 60, 70 mile per hour crosswinds or headwinds, it takes a certain level of expertise to try and filter out some of that wind noise and capture everything else at a decent quality. And I'm just not there yet with my editing capabilities. You know, I went to college once upon a time and took the software editing basic software class in college, and it was stuff like Adobe, PowerPoint, you know, those very basic softwares. And you know, that was, God, 11, 12 years ago. So almost none of that translates to the software that I want to use for motovlogging. Side note, if you're used to throwing around a 680-pound bike and braking and stopping and being sloppy and not caring, just because you know you're 6 foot tall, 190 pounds, you know, you're not a beefcake that just crushes watermelons with his bare hands as a hobby, but you're pretty strong. And so you'd have to be really, really ridiculous to lose control of a small 680-pound bike. Those tactics don't quite work as well on an 840-pound bike. So, if anybody who is a motor vlogger just happens to find this video and they got some pro tips that they want to share with me, I'm definitely the kind of person that thrives on constructive criticism. I've only got one feeling left in all of my damaged psychological content, and that one feeling that's left ain't butthurt. And I just wanted to make this and share it with some people, maybe leave it open to the rest of the world. A new bike, new channel, can't find parts to save my life. Speaking of which, this sexy little 3 mile per hour, perfectly exactly where I want to go stuff is exactly why I didn't go with the Challenger. That probably would have got me a lot more views, because people like interesting bikes more than they like boring old bikers that live in the middle of nowhere and spend every Sunday morning going to the greatest breakfast bagel shop in the entire country. So yes, this channel, quote Marvel Kid 87, this channel is going to stay very organic. I'm going to have a general idea of what I want to cover, and I'm just going to cover it. No script, no over editing. I'm going to put some fun stuff in there when I figure out how to do it. Not really a fan of the whole 15 minutes later, because I already sound like Ferris Bueller's teacher, so throwing in some video editing that says 15 minutes later is about as monotone as I already am. So thanks for watching. We're going to get into a lot more content with this bike. Eventually we're going to do just about everything you could possibly imagine, but it will still look like a Road Glide special. Have a good one and see you guys next time.